even going where? Don't leave me!
Judas, I love you.
I can't hurt.
Judas, please stay.
I can't.
Judas.
I can't hurt. I can't hurt.
Judas, please love me.
I can't.
Mr. Iscariot? Mr. Iscariot, I don't know if you can hear me, but I just wanted to introduce myself, if I could. My name is, Butch Honeywell. I was the foreman of the jury at your trial there, and, well, we found you guilty, Mr. Iscariot. I'm real sorry about that. Oh, I brought you a 12-pack of Coke. Well, I guess it's a 5-pack now, but anyway. I don't know if you drink, but it's the good stuff. So, I'll just lay it down. Okay then. So, I think I'm dead, Mr. Iscariot. And I'm a little concerned about that, because I'm not sure my soul's ready for judgment, but no one has so far corroborated that I'm dead, so I just don't bring it up. But the fact is, if this is a dream, it's the longest dream I've ever endured. And I just really miss my wife, Mr. Iscariot. Is it okay if I tell you that? I remember. I was with these two girls that night when I first seen my wife, Mr. Iscariot. It was a party at Jimmy Rayburn's house, because Jimmy's mom worked till midnight, so he had the whole house to himself. So, you know, me and these two girls, Susie Heller and Della Mae Robbins, we were just talking, smoking cigarettes out on Mrs. Rayburn's deck away from the rest of the party. I was depressed over something or other. Probably because school was ending. Plus, I had just been in the school play. I played Tom in the Glass Menagerie, and it was my first time acting, and everyone said it was real good. But now, the play was over, and school was almost over, and for my part in the play, they had given me this, like, real short haircut, like 1940s style short, and Mr. Iscariot, I don't know if you can tell, but my ears stick out a little bit, so with this real short haircut and all, I was feeling a bit self-conscious and dumb and just not too cheery. So, anyways, me and two girls were just sitting out there, and all of a sudden, I see this girl inside at the party. I guess she had just arrived because she had on a red jacket. It was a cheerleading jacket from the high school just across the state lines, the Red Raiders. And I remember all I saw was this red jacket and this blonde hair and this smile that was, even from a distance, just kind of electrifying to the heart, you know? About a minute later, the sliding door to the deck opens, and this girl, she's heading towards us, all by herself. Turns out she's friends with Della from something back in the day. I don't know, brownies, Girl Scouts, something like that. But she just looked so beautiful that I remember thinking to myself, and this is word for word what I thought, I ain't even gonna bother talking to this girl. So she comes up and she introduces herself, and I just excuse myself right off the deck and back inside, fixing to say my goodbyes and skedaddle. And then Jimmy handed me a drink, and someone started passing around a bottle of Rebel Yell and bong hits and whatnot. And a while later, I'm sitting on the couch when this girl, my future wife, she comes up all by herself, and she says to me, I saw you in the play the other night. You made me cry. 2 days later, we went out on a date. On the way back, I was driving her home, and we passed by my friend Dave Hogg's house, who had died. I hadn't been by the house since he passed, and the family didn't live there no more, but I just got struck with this feeling. I asked her if it would be all right if we just stopped and sat for a moment, and she said, sure. So I parked and we just sat, quiet, not saying nothing. And then I started to tear up, Mr. Iscariot, because this guy, he had been a real good friend of mine, you know? And then I just started crying, and I was real embarrassed, and I couldn't turn it off, and I couldn't stop it, and she just held me while tears and snot and whatnot just poured out of me under her little white sweater. She didn't mind about that. She didn't mind at all. Eventually, I drove her home, and we got to the door, and we started to kiss. And, oh, God, well, I'll tell you, it was like peaches and dynamite. And then I apologized about crying and all, and she said, don't be an idiot, Butch Honeywell. And I went on, I smiled, but went on to explain my meaning, which was, if you want a girl to think you're sensitive or something, then taking her by the house of your dead friend and crying all over her pretty white sweater might be a good way to pull it off. And you know what she said, Mr. Iscariot? She looked at me with them all the way dazzling eyes of hers, and she said, well, if it was a trick, then I'm tricked. 3 years into our marriage, I got a job teaching at State College. I was real popular with the students because I found a way to make them want to learn. One night, at the end of the semester, they took me out for drinks. I ended up having an assignation with one of the co-eds, a young girl named Lucy. I got home, got into bed next to my wife, and before I passed out, I remember I was just looking at her. I always liked to look at her while she slept, but she always looked so good. I used to have a nickname for her. I used to call her my little baby dinosaur. Well, that's how she looked like when she slept, like a cute little baby dinosaur, like a little brontosaurus, but cute. And then I woke up the next morning, and she was still sleeping, and what I had done the night before started to come back to me, and boy, she looked exactly the same as always, except she just wasn't my little baby dinosaur no more, you know? And she got up, she didn't know nothing about nothing, and everything was exactly the same, as if the night before had never happened, except it had happened, and it couldn't be changed. And I didn't know why I had done what I'd done, but I had done it. My girl, she got up and she fixed me blueberry French toast with maple walnut and hearts. I couldn't eat it. No way I could have eaten it. Nothing was ever the same after that morning, Mr. Iscariot, you know? I tried a lot of things to ease the pain. The only things that did were more beer and more women. Do you know who W.H. Auden was, Mr. Iscariot? W.H. Auden was a poet who once said, God may reduce you on Judgment Day to tears of shame, reciting by heart the poems you would have written had your life been good. She was my poem, Mr. Iscariot. Her and the kids, but mostly her. You cashed in silver, Mr. Iscariot, but me? Me, I threw away gold. That's a fact. That is a natural fact.
audience, and we're so thrilled that you came and shared in this experience with us. Tonight we're going to do something that's very unusual and something I've never done at Soulform School, but with the plays that I've directed, but we're going to have an opportunity for a panel discussion for anyone who would like to stay. We're going to give about 3 or 4 minutes if you're unable to stay, so that you can go and just have some time out in the lobby. But if you are able to stay, we've asked for members of our community to share in this panel discussion. They will be sitting here on the stage. Some of the cast members will be staying on the stage with them in case you might have some questions that you would like to ask them as well. And basically it will be an opportunity, unlike a forum, they won't be giving formal speeches, but they will just be giving you an opportunity to ask some questions. All of these people that are on the panel have really extensive backgrounds in many of the areas that are pertinent to this play, and I'll introduce them in just a few minutes. But we would love to have you do that if you have time, but we totally understand if you need to go. We want to thank you again for being such a wonderful audience. I noticed that there are some very young people here today, and I have to honestly say that I was sitting next to a lot of them, and they were unbelievable in the audience today, and I'm really, really impressed with the elementary and middle school and other kids that were here. And thank you for your attention during this play. And most of all, I just want to say once again, just from the bottom of my heart, how much I respect and love these kids on the stage. So thank you so much to each one of you guys. Discussion will start in about 3 minutes. So thank you and have a good night if you're going home.